What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and I'm joined by Tyler, and we are here, as promised, to talk about supernatural elements in Pirates of the Caribbean. So this is not a theory, it's more of a discussion. We're going to talk about if we think supernatural elements are necessary in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and we're going to kind of analyze each movie and talk about the supernatural elements in all of them.
Before we start this video, there's a few announcements we want to talk about very quickly that we'll just run through. First up is spoilers. Now, we've noticed in a lot of the videos we've been getting spoilers, and we just want to make it clear. You guys are an awesome audience. The people that have stuck with us from the very beginning, you guys are really awesome. There's some people, though, that are not awesome. Do not post spoilers on our videos. We do not want them. It's not that we don't want them, it's that we don't want to get spoiled. That's basically it. We don't want to know the ending. These are theories, these are opinions. While we believe our own theories, it's up to you whether you want to believe them. But we do not want to know the ending of Pirates. Don't post it. We're going to delete the post. No nasty language, no anything like that. We don't mess around. We're going to ban you. We're going to delete your comment. So enough of that. We'll make it known the video you can post spoilers. And we are going to have a video right after Pirates comes out where we're just going to spoil the movie. That is when we can talk about it. But do not post spoilers in our videos. Next up is a couple of just like the good announcements. What's coming up and what we need from you. So next week we are doing Pirates of the Caribbean 7, 8, 9. We're going to talk about titles and stories of if they make Pirates 7, 8, 9. What we need from you still for the next couple days, we're going to leave this open. We want you guys to write titles for Pirates 7. What you think the title would be and what you think a plot would be for your own title. We will make graphics of them and we will include them and talk about them in that video. We have our own titles and our own plots that we're going to talk about in the video, but we want to include yours as well. We've already gotten a few. We want more, so come up with those, put them in the comments. In addition, again, just what's coming up for the future, we have the complete history of Jack Sparrow that comes out in 2 weeks, so we're going to have that. We're going to have a few other Pirates videos, including talking about 6. And then we're going to have the Pirates of the Caribbean podcast the week that Pirates comes out, starting the Sunday before it. So we're going to have 5 topics. I already have a few picked out. Again, write any topic ideas you have that you want us to talk about, and write any questions, just general Pirates of the Caribbean questions in the comments. We will include them and talk about them in the Pirates podcast.
Now that plugging is done, Tyler, we had the community video where we asked about the community to come up with theory video possibilities, and we found one that was a kind of a theory about all the Pirates movies, talking about the supernatural elements of Pirates of the Caribbean and if we feel that it's necessary. So let's first talk about if supernatural elements are necessary. So do you think they made the right move, just the way they've gone through the first 4 and really 5, because we know 5 is supernatural? Do you think that's a good idea, or should it have been a realistic, gritty pirate movie?
I think they had to do the supernatural aspect, and I can't picture Pirates of the Caribbean without that. I don't think it would be that great of a movie, to be honest. I don't know. It's because I don't know. I feel like just a pirate movie, kind of like you said. It wouldn't be gritty because it's Disney. That's the problem.
True. Yeah. Yep.
It wouldn't be the same, because if it was the same, if it still had the funny parts and all of that, but it didn't have any supernatural element, I don't know. There wouldn't be anything like that, because a lot of the stuff that happens with Jack, all the stuff where it's man, he got lucky there. All of that stuff wouldn't really work either, because it wouldn't be realistic. You know what I mean?
Right.
So by not having a grounded movie, it is still grounded, because all of the supernatural elements are still very realistic looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Davy Jones looked real. All of that looked pretty real. So without all of it, I feel like the rest of the movie, if you still kept everything, the rest wouldn't work. And if you got rid of all of that, then you wouldn't have a movie, because that everybody knows Jack Sparrow. Even if you didn't see the movie, everybody knows Jack Sparrow, and there's a reason. It's how it's the character, and that character is the main draw. Just how he acts and all the crazy stunts and all that stuff. That's the main draw to those movies. So without the supernatural element, I don't think it would be that cool.
Right.
Because it's always more interesting for the what if. What if we took what the lore is, and we made a supernatural spin on it. And then, like, that's more interesting than reality, anyways.
Exactly. Yeah, and so really going on, I mean, that's a good segue too, because like you said, they really, what I like about, I mean, what really makes Pirate, there's a lot of things that make Pirate special, and that's probably like a topic we could eventually talk about, but what I like about it is it does take kind of real, like you said, lore of pirates, and it throws a twist on it. So let's start going through each movie. And it's funny you say that because the first movie, which you just watched recently, Curse of the Black Pearl, is arguably like the most piratey movie they could have done, because it's about gold. It's about Aztec gold.
Right.
And but it's cursed, right? So it's a little bit different.
Curse, though, because you don't really see the curse all that much.
Yeah, you hear about it. It's kind of like
you only see it a few times,
right,
like towards the end, and then the whole like when Elizabeth is on the ship.
That one really kicks it off. And I mean, when you think of pirates, you think of, well, they're after gold. Like that's just like a common thing you associate pirates with, is hunting treasure, and that's really what that whole thing that Barbossa had. That whole island was not just filled with the Aztec gold, but also just filled with loot. I think that they started it probably exactly where they needed to, with what you associate with pirates, but then throwing, the gold's not supposed to be touched, and so when you mess with it, you become this undead creature. And then, we go to 2, and 2 goes a little bit off, like the beaten track. It takes a couple different things with... So, Davy Jones is a pirate lore figure, as the Devil of the Sea. But then they literally made him like a squid, right? So that was really the supernatural element of 2, along with his heart. And I guess the Kraken, right? But I don't really know if that is a popular lore, like a huge, like a sea mon. Oh yeah, it's the Kraken, duh. Yeah, it's in like those awful Attack of the
Kraken,
and that really obviously covers much of 2, is Kraken, Davy Jones, and his heart, which is really the only supernatural elements I can think.
Like everything that happened with Davy Jones, like the story, like he carved out his heart, and all of that stuff. That would be supernatural. But yeah, there's really not all that. It's almost, if you think about it, like it's not like crazy amount of supernatural, because really, if you think about it, it's almost no different than Curse of the Black, like the only difference is, like, instead of only in the moonlight, it's just Davy Jones and his crew just are looking like that, like all the time. That's it. You know what I mean? Though and they give the reason for it, but like that's it. Like, and the Kraken. But other than that, there's really no Calypso. But other than her, that's like, well, we don't know about her until At World's End. Well, we do, but not like actually who it is. But other than that, that's really the only supernatural part of 2 and 3, really.
Yeah, and that's the fun. I mean, and the thing with 3, like you said, it's a continuation of 2. Nothing supernatural in addition happens other than Tiadama or Calypso. Well, you find out that she is Calypso and all that stuff. Bringing back Barbossa, I guess that in a way. Well, Davy Jones' locker, I think that too. Like you hear about that in 2. But you see it in 3, and you understand kind of like the flipped worlds and stuff. There's that, and then really 4 in a way kind of harkens back to 1 in the fact that one kind of is mostly grounded, but then 4 is the worst one, but 4 has the supernatural elements, but I feel like they're the most pushed back and probably not like as realized as Pirates 2 or 3 with Davy Jones. Like you have Blackbeard, and Blackbeard is obviously, in lore, he is the most notorious pirate of the sea. Jack even told the story in the movie really quickly where he said, like, your head was cut off and you swam around the ship. That's the lore of Blackbeard. Like, that's what he actually did. So they mentioned that, but really the goal of 4 is the Fountain of Youth. I wouldn't even say that's supernatural. That's just like a thing, also in Pirates lore. Yeah. But that one, really the thing with 4 that was supernatural is Blackbeard and what he does. Those zombified people that weren't really fleshed out, and that's kind of the problem. Like, they weren't really given much. And then the mermaids, which is also, popular supernatural lore, kind of making them like demons, or a devilfish, I think he called them, or Barbossa. One of those two had that name for them. So like
they had zombies,
and they were
the zombified
like real
people. Zombies.
Yeah, which wasn't really explained, and they I didn't really understand what they were.
You know why? Because that was like, zombies was a big thing, like a big theme back then, so I think they just kind of threw it in just to be able to say zombies are in the movie.
And then in 5, you know, the Poseidon's trident, Salazar being basically undead. You know,
Bermuda Triangle. But the thing is, like, Bermuda Triangle, well, back then it was known as the Devil's Triangle, but like there literally is in real life actual supernatural things that do happen there. But, and then like you were saying though about like mermaids and stuff, or even the Kraken, you look at actual, you know, pirate, like, stuff from back then, like paintings and like stuff that was said, like that's in like paintings. Like people actually thought that's what they saw. So it's like, it's not like it's supernatural, because a lot of it is like just going off of what they were, like what the stories are from all the way back then. I mean, you type in like mermaid painting or whatever, or like pirates images, and like you'll see either like a sea serpent, you'll see maybe a kraken, because there were large squids back then, there still are, and then you'll see mermaids. Now I don't know what they really were, but anytime you look up pirate and you see like a ship, sometimes you will see mermaids. They could have just been dolphins, I don't know. But like, so it's not like it's all that supernatural, because a lot of the stuff you can actually find like this is what they actually recorded back then. It doesn't have to be right, but it is what they thought. But you could even say the same thing about Blackbeard. Like he really did have the supposedly he really did wear, what was it, something in his beard that he would light.
Oh yeah.
To make it, like he really did that. So it's not like the way that they did it in the movie was a little bit different. It's not that it was supernatural. It's just they took what was actually supposedly done or said all the way back then, and then they just put their spin on it, basically.
To close up, I want to ask you which supernatural element in which movie, not necessarily even which movie was the best, which supernatural element did you like the most, and which supernatural element did you feel like either they nailed it or they didn't nail it, like things like that. So what was your favorite supernatural element, your least favorite, and which one do you think they nailed or didn't nail?
My favorite would be Davy Jones, because he's honestly my favorite character in all the movies. There's just something really awesome about him. So they nailed that one big time, because you can see the cruelty in him. Like when Will's getting whipped, you can see like how he actually enjoys seeing people in pain. But then anytime Jack mentions like love or anything, you could see that in his face too. And there's something about how he looks, like monstrous, but then like in those moments where like he looks kind of sad,
right? You
almost feel bad for him, like you don't see that monster anymore. Like just everything about him, they nailed. What would I say that they didn't nail? I don't know. Really, almost anything that was in Pirates of on Stranger Tide, I just didn't feel any of the stuff. Even Blackbeard's Sword of Triton, how he was able to manipulate the ship and stuff.
Right.
It was cool, but they didn't, like you kind of said, like they didn't really utilize it right.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe mermaids, they could with Barbossa.
I wish they did the mermaids a little better. But I don't know. I feel like they didn't really use any of it the right way.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, 4, I think they tried to make the most grounded and have the supernatural elements, but Blackbeard, like Blackbeard was a cool, like you said, like his sword was pretty sweet, but then like when he first pulls it out and he says hang, that was pretty sweet, but then when you see that he needs to literally hover the sword over the area, that was a little weird. Like that wasn't necessary. Then you have the fact that he's into voodoo, which is pretty sweet, that he can hurt people with the dolls, but then that was never like expanded upon.
Right. Like
it was only used twice, so you got that. Him himself was pretty cool. The mermaids were kind of used about as good. Like Serena wasn't used well, but the mermaids in general, I think, were probably used okay. And then even the Fountain of Youth, like the lure was there, and the lore of it was there, but like that wasn't, like they destroyed it. Like basically, the Spanish came and they just crushed the whole thing. So like the fountain had a lot of potential too, and that kind of fell apart. So that's the one you think failed the most, and you also didn't enjoy it?
Yeah, I just think none of them really worked. Like I didn't, like you kind of just said, like the voodoo, the zombies,
Yep.
didn't to me make sense with anything else that was going. Like I don't like what is the connection to them going to find the Fountain of Youth? There isn't one. Even like how they even utilized Blackbeard himself didn't work. And I'm only including him into the supernatural element is because of the capabilities, like you just said, like the voodoo, his sword, like all of that stuff. Like they didn't. Therefore, like he is supernatural in a way. That didn't work. But like in Pirates 1, Curse of the Black Pearl, they didn't show. Like I said, like they didn't show the curse that much. But like when they did, it was just cool because you never saw anything like that.
Yeah.
Like back then, like you never saw anything where like you could like they would change like in lighting and like it was just cool. But and it wasn't like anything like crazy. And it made sense. Like it was the main. Like you understood like why they wanted to find the last piece of gold because the like. They were super hungry, like all the time. Didn't feel anything all the time. So why wouldn't you want it to end? Like I get that. I don't even know why anything in 4 happened. Like I don't understand any of it.
Right.
2, like I get Davy Jones' character 100%. So like I don't get 4. So and again, like I know we're talking about supernatural, but they're all supernatural movies. Like all of them. That's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
If there's not a supernatural element in it, then you're done with Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, or you don't have Pirates of the Caribbean.
And obviously, 5 has a lot of what we've seen so far, a lot of supernatural elements with Will coming back. So you got that. You got Salazar and his entire crew, and also his ship. The Silent Mary has been kind of re-brought back to life. The undead sharks. And obviously the Trident of Poseidon. Whether we see it or not.
Which means that Poseidon,
which also means Poseidon is in. Right, yes.
Means Poseidon, whether he's in it or not, means Poseidon is real.
I mean, there's a ton of supernatural elements through all the movies. So, as always, let us know what you think. If you think that maybe they could have made a Pirates movie without supernatural, let us know what it would be. Let us know what supernatural elements were your favorite. Again, last time plugging. 7, 8, 9. We need those titles. That video comes up next week. So that is when we're doing it. You got 1 week to get us those titles. And then in addition, you have a couple more weeks to give us questions and or topics for the Pirates of the Caribbean podcast. So that is it for this week. Next week, 7, 8, 9 titles. Tyler, thank you for joining me once again.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys on the next Pirates video.